Hi, hello, welcome. We are doing week 2 check-in. Just to get like kind of the fitness bit over with. My energy levels have been really low, and I don't know if that's sleep related or if that's like calorie related. I did up my calories this week to adjust. Workouts feel fine. I'm not working out and feeling a crash super bad after, or working out and then feeling like shit. So I did up my calories just to start with something that is more within my control than my sleep and my work schedule. Sleep obviously is its own thing, but the insomnia is fun. It's getting better. I haven't been great at waking up at the exact time I've been telling myself I was going to during this 100 days, but I've been within like the window that I wanted. Today I did wake up at the time I wanted. So there's a win. That's a win. I forgot wins. Let's think about wins from the past week. I got to go on a run and go to the beach. The weather's kind of been humid, and so I haven't been taking my dog on runs or to the beach as much. And that, I don't know, I feel weird going without him. Obviously I can, but I like to include him in on my fun as much as I can. So if I go to the beach, I like to have him with me. If I'm going on a run that's not on the treadmill, I like to have him with me, things like that. So I guess humidity has thrown a wrench in me and him being able to have fun together. But today we got to do it. I feel like I've been really good at staying on track with a lot of my goals. Workout routine's great. I had a really, really good back day yesterday. Loved that. It was like a back and by. And then if you're curious what my split is, because of my work schedule, Saturdays and Sundays are my rest days. Monday, back and by. Tuesday, long run. Wednesday is going to be chest and tri day. Thursday is a leg day. And then Friday is going to be a short run day with like maybe some hip mobility activities. Today is Tuesday, so it was my cheat day, which means I got ice cream. And I was very, very stoked about it. If you know me, ice cream is my fix. It's my feel-good food, and I just love it. I love ice cream. Other wins, other wins. Overall, I think feeling good, being clear-headed. You know, you say you're working out or you're doing an eating routine, and people are like, wow, good for you. Like, that's awesome. The amount of people that I say all 4 things that I'm cutting out for 100 days, I have not had a single person be like, I could use that, or I could do that, or that would be good for me. Every single person has been like, I could never. That's crazy. Maybe just choose like 2 of those things. Or ask me like, well, why are you choosing this? Why are you getting rid of that? Like, da 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 da. Cigarettes is the one thing that everyone's like, you should take advantage and just quit. Don't play games with me. Don't say stupid shit. I mean, maybe I'll get there. I don't really, who knows? Maybe at the end of this, I will be like, yeah, I'll just be done with cigarettes. I think the nice thing about them is it is something that I can just pick up and put down when I want. Obviously, all those things I can just pick up and put down whenever I want, but my relationship to them is all different. So we know this, we've been known, we've discussed. For some reason, I've been thinking a lot about shadow work. And I did kind of touch on last week how it feels like this 100 days is a little bit of a version of like real embodiment, like a physical manifestation of shadow work, like a real lived version, because I'm giving up a lot of personal comforts or personal distractions with a lot of goal setting, a lot of determination, a lot of underlying factors, like things that maybe I haven't discussed that I have within this 100 days is I want to get out of serving and bartending. So my goal is to apply for a certain amount of jobs a week and really be intentional with my time. Where am I spending my time? It's caused me to go outside more and be with my dog more. It's caused me to be alone with my thoughts more. It's helped me organize my time with more intention. And I guess that's the point, right? Was I wanted to be really intentional with my actions, my words, what I'm doing. The thing is, I think it's also forced me to be intentional with my thoughts as well. Like I touched on last week, kind of observe them differently throughout this 2 weeks. We're only 2 weeks in. But that's all right, because guess what? We're 2 weeks in. It's all about your mindset. It's all about how you think about things. We are 2 weeks in, and it was a lot easier than I thought it's been. was going to be so far. I might have to bite my tongue on that. I'm trying to think about this like how I did with my half marathon, where I was like, okay, my first 2-3 miles are a warm up. Middle is going to be pacing, pacing, pacing. Listen to your body, but find a pace that's slightly uncomfortable but sustainable, and stick to it. And then your last 3 miles are going to be a push, push, push. And they're going to be hard, but you're going to give it your all. And it's going to be worth it. That's what I'm kind of guessing this experience is going to be like. Kind of very slow building in the beginning and very finding my footing, finding, just a warm up, find what's comfortable. And then the middle weeks are going to be kind of a grind, kind of a this is slightly uncomfortable because I would like vices, or I am bored. I'm someone who gets bored easy, so that's realistic for me. Things might come up that I want to break away from what I'm doing for, whether that's opportunities with friends or boys or what have you. Like things could come up because that's life. I think I've mostly discussed fitness goals or like how I'm doing my 100 days within fitness, but I just talked about intention. A lot of my other things involve like not spending money on coffee, not buying food at the places I work. Those are so I can save money. And then every Monday of my weeks, I'm putting that money directly into my savings. And then on top of that, I have my journaling goals. I'm journaling every single day. And within my journals, I'm talking about what I'm grateful for. And at the same time, not keeping my eye off of what I would like to welcome into my life. I'm applying for a certain amount of jobs each week. Like there are things that are very intentional within my 100 days that aren't just fitness, but I can picture myself getting bored and picture myself getting distracted because that's how I operate. I think that's why sometimes I'll seek out chaos or seek out crazy dynamics with people or relationships, and then keep those relationships around because then I can have like the chaos just right accessible to me. And I'm trying not to do that anymore. I'm trying to remember like sustainability, predictability, building those strong foundations. So yeah, real life shadow work. Finding myself being bored or looking for reasons to kind of be distracted. I haven't found myself there yet, but I can picture myself getting there. I do have to keep reminding myself of why I'm doing this, I will admit. It made me look back to a couple things a while ago that I started thinking about in terms of setting goals and making promises to yourself. Or at least for me, when I've set promises to myself, what it looks like when I fulfill those things and how I feel afterwards and how I feel up until that point. And I'll give kind of 2 examples that are recent. So I recently moved to North Carolina about 6 months ago, and I've always wanted to move to the East Coast. North Carolina was not always the plan, but the East Coast was. And I spent the last 9 years of my life in Utah. I was very ready to get out for a long time, but that last year and a half, I was ready. It was time, and it was time to push and time to like stop making excuses and just make it happen. There was signs in me and signs around me that it was just time. And no more excuses right now, make it happen. And when I made up my mind that it was something I was going to do, there was obviously a lot of fear and a lot of hows and a lot of just what ifs. And I don't know how to describe it, but there's been a couple moments in my life where I'm human, so I had fear and I had anxiety and I had questions, but something in me just said, send it, literally just do it. Just do it. And this was one of those things where I just felt like it doesn't matter, just make it happen. Don't really worry about the details, just go. Every time that I've done things like that, it has been a life-changing experience, or there has been things about it that I maybe didn't understand at first, but later on, things like puzzle pieces just fit together that I was like, okay, that's why, or that's what I needed, or whatever. And those are probably intuitive nudges. I don't know. But either way, there's been several times in my life where I've had those feelings. And moving to North Carolina within this time frame was one of those moments where it was like, just go, just do it. Now's the time. So when I made up my mind, I don't know how and I don't know why, but because I was able to look back on other times in my life where I've had those feelings, even though they were very few and far in between in the past, I just knew it's going to work out. I just had this faith in source, God, universe, whatever, and this faith in myself and the intuitive nudge that I was like, answer the call. Ring, 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 answer the call. Here it is. If you just do it, then things are going to work out. And here I am. And I remember I felt very proud. And I remember like the first couple months that I was here, there were several times that I would go on a run with my dog and I would just start crying. And I would be like, these are the moments that I used to pray for. And these are the moments that I used to go on my runs back in Utah and envision / manifest. Like I would go on runs and I would pretend like I was like envision in my mind and pretend right in front of me like I was going on a run on the beach with my dog or things like that. I knew that when I moved here, I was going to prep for a half marathon. And then when I was here and I would do the things that I used to envision, like I would start crying and I'd be like, I'm so grateful and I'm so proud of myself for doing XYZ and keeping the promises that I've made to myself. So that was one thing. And then another was my half marathon. I just ran my first half marathon a week ago. Oh, wow, not a week ago, a month ago. And I was really nervous leading up to it. And I was nervous about money and taking a weekend off of work and spending money. And I was really nervous just about all of it. Like if I was going to do good, I didn't feel like I had trained enough or like stuck to my training plan enough. Like that, there was just little anxieties, but I in my head was like, well, you committed to it, so just go and just do it. Like this is something you want, don't worry about it, you know you can do it, so just do it, and money will come back to you, so just spend the money now and don't worry about it, just go. It was similar to my move. And when I did, again, I just felt so proud and so excited and was like, look at the hard things that I can do. Because when it came to moving in the past, I always had a million excuses of timing and money and not really feeling secure in myself. And to be honest, you know, I needed my time in Utah. I needed my time in Utah to learn and to grow, and for a million other reasons that again we'll probably discuss later on. But my time in Utah was a necessary step before coming out to the East Coast, but I had learned my lesson. That chapter was over and the universe was saying, you're ready now, so do it. And then on top of that, I used to hate running with a passion. Hated it. And so to say that I ran a sub 2-hour half marathon now, I was just like elated. I was very proud. I worked hard. I stuck to something. I did something. I made a promise to myself and the results were worth it. And I worked hard enough to have results that I was proud of and excited about. And that made me think about when you keep promises to yourself and you keep pushing forward in them, how I think it builds not only more confidence, it shows you and it shows God that like you are willing to commit. You're willing to pursue something and the hard work pays off. And running, sorry, I know everyone hates running, but like running is a really good kind of metaphor for life. It's so uncomfortable. It sucks in the beginning. And even as a runner, like even if you love running, there's moments while you're on a run where you're like, this fucking sucks. This sucks so bad. Like my legs are cramping, my stomach hurts, I need water, like whatever it is. How much farther do I have to go till I'm done? Like I want to give up, but I know I have 3 more miles. Like there's a million thoughts that goes through your head about how the process sucks. And then when you're done, you're like, wow, that was awesome. And I killed it. And I'm so glad and I'm proud. That's kind of where I'm at right now, is thinking of this as a promise to myself. Not because I am chasing a dream body or chasing like, I don't even know what I'm chasing. Like, maybe that's kind of the nice thing about it, is letting go of the result itself, letting go of the expectation, committing to something that I know will be good for me in the long run. Whether that's, I know that my body will thank me, or I know that my mind will thank me for discipline. Anything really out of all this. I don't know what the end result is. I could finish this 100 days, still not have a job out of bartending. Does not mean that the goal I set to apply for 5 jobs a week was a failure or a waste of time. I could come out of this and weigh the exact same that I weigh right now, or look the exact same that I look right now. Okay? Again, that wasn't the point. Like the point was to create structure and discipline. And if that's all I gained at the end of this, then that was the point, and that's what matters. Now, cool, I've done it. Where else can I stick that discipline, and where else can I use that motivation? And how else can I see this as a form of, see, I'm capable of doing hard things, and push that somewhere else into another hard thing. When you show yourself you can do one hard thing, then you start believing you can do other hard things. I have a complex PTSD diagnosis. There's a lot of like self-beliefs that kind of help cultivate or fall under the diagnosis for that. And one of them is like believing consistently that you're not safe, and also like a lot of negative self-beliefs around failure and worth. And seeing myself do hard things has helped me step away from those negative beliefs. I thought the things that would help me get past those negative self-beliefs were things like losing weight, getting a bachelor's degree, having a successful romantic relationship. In the past, maybe even like being a really good Mormon girl and getting married and having kids. Like, there were things and ideas that have evolved over my past that I thought were the keys to my success. And a lot of them involved changing things about myself or doing things that made me miserable, or pleasing other people and what they wanted from me. Obviously not. Obviously, we all know that's not how it works. But the hard things that I had to do to get to where I am now with my mental health were not the things that I thought I had to do in the beginning. Were not the things that I was fighting tooth and nail to accomplish, and then feeling like a failure because I was not accomplishing them, or I wasn't accomplishing them to the degree that I wanted. Like the losing weight bit, for example. Yes, I lost weight, and yes, I'm a lot happier than I was, whatever. And like, it's changed my relationship with self, right? But that being said, guess what I did first? It had nothing to do with dieting, and it had nothing to do with changing what I was eating. I changed my environment, and I soothed my nervous system. And then without trying, I lost 60 pounds in 3 months. I'm not kidding. And I was someone who was always, always, always trying to lose weight, always going to the gym, working out often. I was already in a running habit with my dog and a running routine with my dog. Like, I was someone who was actively trying all the time and would lose weight, gain it, lose weight, gain it, lose weight, gain it, like all the time. For years, all I did was treat my nervous system better. And lost 60 pounds. That's crazy work. That's crazy work. It sounds impossible. It sounds stupid. It sounds not realistic. What did you do? Nothing. I did some of the hardest shit ever. I cut out toxic environments and toxic things, and I was honest. All I did was change stuff up here, and it started changing everything else around me. We will discuss things like that more. I do want to get into mental health kind of manifestation modes, whether that's law of detachment, law of assumption, and how your life is a mirror of how you see yourself and you see the world and your subconscious beliefs and pattern recognition. Like, I do want to discuss all those things. I just don't want to unload all that right now. There's a lot to be said as far as all that, but I just want to start with, like, I did a lot of cutting out toxic beliefs and toxic things in my life to make other things happen and to start believing in myself. And a lot of those things were very uncomfortable at first, and a lot of those things were terrifying at first, but very worth it. And I'm very proud of like where I'm at now, and I have no regrets. That's a long-winded way of saying, when we start keeping promises to ourselves, no matter how small, even if they don't like make sense to anyone else, in the grand scheme of things, running a half marathon is not important. It's not important. I didn't save anyone's life. I didn't do any groundbreaking work. I didn't do anything that no one's done before. Like, truthfully, moving to North Carolina, that was purely for no one else but myself. If anything, some people were sad that I was gone. Some people didn't understand. And I think that's kind of the point, is when you start doing things for you and they don't have to make sense to anyone else but you, but it's a promise to yourself. And you see yourself do it over and over and over again. Not because you're selfish, because it's like truly a desire of yours at the end of the day that's important to you. Things feel less hard and things feel less like they're not obtainable to you. They might still feel scary or hard, but at least they feel like they're within your ability to access and to have. So when you can start doing the damn thing and stop making excuses and say, you know what, fuck it, I don't care how hard this is going to be, I'm going to do it no matter what, and I'm just going to believe that somehow this is going to work out for me, and that not only am I capable of making this happen, but like God, source, universe wants this to happen for me. This thing wants to work in my favor and wants to be on my side. When you can start thinking like that, then guess what? That's how things are going to work. Things are going to start reflecting in your life in such a fashion. But it takes both. It takes two to tango. You can't just say, well, I prayed and prayed and prayed and it never came. What did you do to show source, to show God that you wanted this thing? Did you buy the ticket? Did you apply for the job? Did you speak your piece? Did you try to leave? Like, doesn't matter what it is. If you want something, it can be yours. But you have to show universe that you are making efforts to access it as well. It's like if you do 25% of the work and you believe and you trust and you have patience, honestly, the universe will do 75%. It'll do the rest. It just asks you to be patient and to also believe that it's yours already. To believe that it's yours, to want it bad enough, and to reach for it, to try for it. Because if you're not trying, no one's going to come knocking on your door and be like, hey, here's a job with a 6-figure salary. No one's going to come knocking on your door and say, hey, you want to move to North Carolina? Great, we'll pay for everything. Here's an all expense paid move. You know what I mean? I guess that's my tidbit about week 2 is there's a lot of ways that I'm trying to kind of have faith in myself in this moment. And faith, I don't exactly know what. Like I said, I don't know exactly what I'm hoping my end result is out of all this, except for that I would like to just see that I'm capable of more hard things. I already know I'm capable of hard things. That's not the question by any means. Maybe more of a I'm capable of saying no. I'm capable of doing and I'm capable of saying no. Saying no is very hard for me. I know that sounds silly. I, for a long time, have felt like saying no was not an option to me, to helping people, to boys, to other people's expectations of me. And so maybe this is a version of teaching myself that I can say no. At least maybe that's what this week is about, is seeing that I'm capable of it and that saying no is safe. I'm safe to say no. Even if that's just a focus of this week, I'm sure it'll change next week. But yeah. Okay. I forgot to wear my microphone when I did my outro for my week 2 check-in. So here I am redoing that. I guess just to wrap up, obviously I mentioned shadow work's been a big theme in kind of just on my thoughts. And I think that might be what each weekly check-in will be me kind of saying, hey, this is what's been going on within the past week. This is what I'm struggling with. This is what, well, because I want to acknowledge both, but also kind of what's been on my mind the week of. Because I think if we can see what's on our mind the week of, maybe that's where we can understand our strengths and weaknesses, or maybe the pitfalls, or maybe why some things went well and maybe why some things didn't. Either way, I kind of like the idea as well of this being a really big opportunity to fully live and embody like shadow work on a daily basis. I personally love shadow work, so maybe I can dive more into what that is and what that means next week. That being said, don't quote me on this. I could be wrong on like the exact date, but I feel so I won't actually, I'm not even going to quote a date because I could be wrong, but I do believe that there is a Scorpio full moon coming up. And what a beautiful time for shadow work to be on my mind with that type of moon coming in. Scorpio wants us to go there. Scorpio wants us to go dark and deep and, be intentional with those parts of ourselves. Not to hide them, not to shame them, not to judge them, because that's not the point of shadow work. The point of shadow work is not to judge and to shame. It's the opposite. It's to look at the parts of yourself that feel mysterious, scary, and be inquisitive, be curious. Why are you here? I'm not asking why you're here so I can judge you and shame you and then change you, I'm here to ask why you're here so I can understand you, make peace with you, and adjust accordingly. How can I maybe actually even see you as a tool for strength in my life? If you want to go into a therapeutic route, because I like to do both, we could talk about internal family systems. You want to talk about it? We'll do that next week. So thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being patient as I am still learning what I'm doing. All the technical sides, honestly, I think is where my biggest adjustments might come. So thank you for that. And just thank you for being here in general. Grateful for you, grateful for this journey. And I'll see you next week for week 3.